to What's for Dinner today? Today's menu is a friend's request. You pretty much eat it every time. Everybody orders it at a Chinese restaurant. What is it? It is beef Chowfun. Want to know how to make it? Let's get into it. The first ingredient is Chowfun. You can buy this kind. I like this Rose brand. It's freshly made at a local factory. I don't know if it's available everywhere. When I was in Utah, I can buy this kind of like vacuum sealed. It's frozen, so it takes a little bit longer to cook. Actually, I prefer that. It separates pretty easily while this kind of sticks, but we'll work around it. Second ingredient, of course, is beef. It's commonly found as beef, but also if you're a vegetarian, you can sub for eggs as well. But just for the eggs, you want to, like our previous videos, you have to use quite a bit of oil to get the fragrance out, and also kind of to deep fry the eggs a little bit. It will bring out the flavor and fragrances a little bit better. And the kind of beef to choose is called stir-fried beef. It's very thinly sliced, and sometimes they like cut it into little strips. I like using this just for the convenience sake, but you can buy any steak and then just thinly cut it. The last but not least, garlic. I like to cheat a little bit. I buy these kind from Costco. It's dried garlic. It has more flavor, and also it's just like you don't have to worry about rotting or anything. You can just use it as you go. And also green onions, you have to buy these fresh, of course. And then the mung bean sprouts. Don't just get the kind of like a soybean sprouts. Ugh, those I don't like it, but if you do, go ahead. The miscellaneous seasoning, of course, soy sauce. You can just use the regular whatever you have in your pantry, and also salt and water and oil, frying oil. You can use vegetable oil. Peanut oil would be lovely, but it's not necessary, but it complements well with this dish. Let's get going. So first of all, we will have to marinate the beef first. You don't have to marinate it for long, just like 10-15 minutes while you prepare all the other ingredients. I'll add a little bit of dark soy sauce to add a little bit of color, but just a dab because it's still kind of salty. Most of the flavor is just soy sauce, just a little bit. I like to add in a little bit of sugar. This is optional because, you know, we're all trying to stay young and sugar is no good. I like to add just a little bit of garlic. It's totally up to you. But, you know, what's not to like garlic, man? If you don't like the meaty taste, you can choose to add in a little bit of alcohol, either vodka or whatever you have, or cooking wine that you have on hand. Wash your green onions, wash all vegetables. Don't just feel like, oh, it's fine, it's pre-washed already. No, wash it, okay? And then you cut it diagonally, like as 90 degrees or 60 degrees as you can to get it thin and long like this. I'll show you one more time how to cut it. Cut it really thin diagonally. You can kind of cut it into like shreds, like a little long threads, but that's just too much work. I'm not gonna do it. As long as it's long and thin, it's fine. Let's set these aside with the bean sprouts for now. A lot of people don't know that these kind of like non-stick cannot be just cooking on the stove, electric or gas, just dry by itself. So I'll usually add a little, well, this is not very little oil, but I'll add a tiny bit of oil to start out to just get it not overheated, and then like to have the whatever non-stick coating that they painted on to be coming off or reacting. I guess that's the way to say it, just for safety's sake. Turn on your fan because it's going to be oily. Just occasionally you flip it over a little bit just to make sure that they're cooking evenly instead of just like sticking all together. Look at these that has already heated up. They usually just soften and separate by itself. It takes a little bit longer since we have so much noodle, but it will do eventually. Cover the lid again just to let it kind of steam simmer a little bit. If you feel like it's not cooking fast enough, you can choose to add a little bit of water. You can see that there's just like about a little bit of oil left. All the water I added has evaporated. I'll add a little bit of soy sauce, dark and regular, and also a little bit of oyster sauce or hoisin sauce if you have, just to give it a little bit more flavor and color while it cooks down. The best part is that when it cooks, and because of the soy sauce and hoisin sauce you add, some of the edges will start to brown. It will give you that little nice caramelized Chowfun. I like that, but if you don't have to do this, but still add a soy sauce and stuff. But if you're a vegetarian, don't add the oyster sauce or hoisin sauce because obviously it's not vegetarian. but just mix it until it's even. Look at this, it's almost cooked it down and separated. Try to do like a swirling instead of like poking around, because you can see some of the pieces, I was too rough on them, so they already like broke into little black. You don't have to wash the wok or anything. You can just go straight in and start frying the beef because nothing is sticking and it still has quite a bit of oil left from frying the noodle. Depends on what kind of beef you buy. Some are bigger chunks than the other, so it's just all up to you. You can cook the meat kind of like searing a steak, cooking longer on one side, so to get that kind of caramelized browned edges. You can add in some of the white stem part of the green onion because it takes longer to cook, and also this way it will add in a little bit more flavor, kind of a fragrance to the beef, eventually to the noodle. Now you can put the noodle back in. The meat and the noodle is done. You just kind of have to gauge it. Now it's the right time to put in the bean sprouts and also the green part of the green onion. Right now, because I have electric, usually it will have like 30 minutes left after I turned off the stove, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off. After adding the bean sprouts and the green onions, it doesn't take very long, about 30 seconds to a minute. You can see that bean sprouts have kind of softened but still is firm. This tells you it's ready. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you would like to see more of videos like this, but also remember to like us or comment down below and let us know what you think.